Hi everyone, welcome to S4 Sharnya Science classes. Today's our topic is sex determination. In our cell, there are some special chromosomes called sex chromosomes which are actually responsible for the sexes of the organism. That means either male or female. So those chromosomes which is involved in sex determination or which is responsible for the sexes of that organism, they are called sex chromosomes or allosomes. If you are checking in human being, there are two types of sex chromosomes are there, the X type chromosome and the Y type chromosomes. Here, if it is a male, then you can see that they will have XY type. That means they will have two sex chromosome which is X and Y. In female, they will have only one type of chromosomes, that is actually the X type. That means both chromosomes, the pair are actually a single type, right? So XX, then it determines the female, right? So here rest of the chromosomes, we know that the total chromosome number in a human male or female, it is actually 46, or we can see that 23 pairs. That means this is diploid condition to N condition. At the time of gamete formation, there will be haploid, that is 23, right? Not 23 pair, it will be only 23 in gametes. Then again, when the gametes will fuse together, whether it is male gamete, the sperm, or the female gamete, again the chromosome number will be maintained. That we all know that, right? So we told that from this 46, two are sex chromosomes or allosomes. So remaining 44, what they called? They called as autosomes. So other than sex chromosomes, the remaining chromosomes are called autosomes. The number of autosomes, that means that 44, that will be remain same in male and female. There will be no difference. But in sex chromosome, whether it is female, then it will be XX type in human, and in male that will be XY type. And you can see that about the sex determination, there were different scientists who have put their own ideas. It was Henking who was the first scientist who actually studied about the spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means the formation of sperms. Here you can see that he studied about the spermatogenesis of some insects, and he identified that, he observed that 50% of the sperm after the spermatogenesis, right, receive a nuclear structure, and 50% of the sperm haven't received that structure. He named the structure as X body. Later it identified that it as the X chromosome. So there are so many different types of sex determination mechanisms such as XXXO type, XXXY type, ZZZW type, like that. So one by one we will discuss. Here we are going to discuss the first one, XXXO mechanism. This is the most common mechanism in insects such as grasshopper and all. So what is actually happening here? Here the male, which is actually heterogametic, that is, here you can see that the condition is heterozygous condition. If it is a gamete, that's why we are telling heterogametic. And this will be crossed with a female, somewhat big cross with a female, which is actually homogametic, right? So this is the male and this is the female. What will be the gametes forming? Here you can see that here only one type of gamete, because another that's not receiving any nuclear structure. So that's why it's O means there is nothing, right? Zero, we can say that. So here only one type of sperms are producing here. What about here? And here also you can see that will be, here the sperms will be one type, in the sense only one with X and another one with nothing. So we can say that O type, we can write it, right? And here only one type, that is either X, and the other possibility also X only, right? If you want, you can write it, otherwise no problem, right? So what are the gametes? These are the gametes possibilities, how they will cross. If these two are crossing, you can see that what is the possibility. And if these two are crossing, what are the possibilities? So here this will be a female, this will be a female, and this will be a male. So you can see here one type of gamete, in the sense one type with X nuclear structure and another without anything. So there are two gamete possibilities, right? But here only one, we are telling one type is possible, right? So that means X type and XO type, if they are. So if you are taking here another X, then that's also same. This one XX, these two XO, right? So that's why I have mentioned only one, right? So this mechanism is known as that XXXO mechanism. So here you can see that the male, which we are telling XO, which is heterogametic, right, and the female, which is the homogametic. I hope the mechanism is clear. So in which type of organism this you can see? Mostly in insects such as grasshopper. The next type of mechanism here we are taking, that's actually the human being and the Drosophila one. That's actually the XX and XY, right. So here also we know that if it is a male and the female, right. So here if you are taking, here also the male is heterogametic, which is crossed with the female, which is homogametic in nature. What is that type of sperms and ovum produced? Here you can see that there is two type of sperms possibilities are there, and these two are there, and here only one type of ovum which is having X chromosome. If these two are combining, then that will be a female. You can see here, if these two are combining, then that will be a male. So here also you can see that in these two both cases, the male is heterogametic. Here XO, here also the male is heterogametic XY. Here there is nothing is there, but here the Y chromosome is present. That's the difference. And this is the common mechanism in Drosophila and human being. I hope it is clear, right. Now the third type of mechanism which we are going to discuss here, this is XZZZW mechanism. Here what is that? Here a slight difference is there. Here the female is heterogametic. You can see that the female heterogametic, you can see that that's actually ZW type, and the male is actually homogametic. You can see that ZZ type. So what is the possibility here? Female, right, ZW. So this is the female one, and which is crossed with the male one, which is the homogametic. Here the gametic, that possibilities of ovum, one is with Z type and another is W type, and here is only one type of sperm is produced, that's a Z type. These two are mixing together, or they are fusing together, there will be a male. You can see that the homogametic, and these two are the fusing together, there will be a female, which is a heterogametic one. That's the difference. So these two mechanism, the male heterogametic you can see, and in this mechanism you can see that the female heterogametic you can see that. I hope all the sex determination mechanism is clear for you. In detail of the sex determination in human and honeybee, right. First we will discuss about in human being. We all know that in human being a cell contains 46 chromosomes, that means diploid set of chromosomes, 2n, that's actually here, which is equal to 46. Right, and in that there are 2 sex chromosomes and the remaining the autosomes, right. So 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes or allosomes. If it is female, you can see that that will be XX type, and if it is male, then it will be XY type. At the time of gamete formation, you can see that that will be divided by meiosis, and there will be gametes, the male gamete and the female gamete. The female gamete, the ovum or the egg, consists of half the number, 22 plus X, that means total 23, right. So all the ovum, there is only one type of sex chromosomes is there, XX type, so only X only they will receive. What about here? Here also 23 pairs of chromosomes, that's actually 22 autosomes and 1 X from here. There is another possibility also, 22 plus Y. So there are 2 types of sperms are there. If these two are combining together, that means 22X and these 22X, then there is a possibility 44, 22, 22, 44, and here you can see that the XX type. So these two together, if they are combining 22, 22, 44 and X, that. So which type it will be? Obviously XX, then it will be female. So here 44 plus 2, 46, the number maintained. What about this possibility? 22X plus 22Y. So 22, 22, 44 XY, which is the male type. I hope it is clear for you, right. What about honeybee? Honeybee, there is somewhat different mechanism and it's very interesting also, right. So here you can see that here not the dominant or recessive type, nothing like that. The number of sets of chromosomes, it's actually determine the sex of that individual, right. What we are telling, the number of sets of chromosome present in that. Mostly in honeybee, the males having only one set of chromosome. That means they are haploid in nature, only 16 chromosomes are there and their name is actually the drone. This is only the male type of honeybee. And female, that's actually having diploid set of chromosome, which is 2n, and that is actually 32. There are two types of female present, that's queen and worker. It can be either queen or worker. That means they will have, the female will have diploid set of chromosome. That only you have to remember, right? Then how these formation is taking place, we are going to discuss that. For example, female, that means if it can be that reproduction only done by the queen, we are telling, right? Here you can see that if queen, then that is having 2n diploid set of chromosome 32, and the drone, which is having n, the haploid set of chromosome 16. These two will produce their gametes. So here the gametes, the egg will be there, and here the sperm will be there. Here you can see that 2n, there will be by meiosis half set of chromosomes and n will be there. And here the drone will undergo mitosis, not meiosis. If it is meiosis, then n upon 2 will be there. So that's not possible here. The same mitosis it will do, equational division, and it will produce. That means here they are undergoing mitosis, and here it is meiosis. They will produce the same number of chromosome, that's actually the sperm, the gamete, right, which is having same number of chromosomes. Now you can see that here this n, that's actually egg and sperm, will fuse together to form the diploid set of chromosome. If it is diploid, then what are the possibility? It can be, it's male, it's female only. There is only one possibility, that's actually it is female. Female, it can be a worker or it can be a queen. How it will be a worker and queen? So among them, that female, one of them will be selected and that will be feed on with royal jelly. Then that female will become the queen, and all others will be the worker honeybee, which is female. And here another possibility, one of that female gamete, that's the egg, right, will undergo the development without fertilization. That means the unfertilized egg will be developed into a drone, which is the male one, which is having haploid set of chromosome, that means 16. So here if it is fusion, the fertilization is occurring, then that will be a female gamete, and if it is no fertilization, that means unfertilized egg, I am not telling sperm, always remember it is not developing into a male, it is sperm. Unfertilized egg can only develop into a male, that's actually the drone. And this process of that developing of an unfertilized egg into a male, that individual honeybee, that process is known as that parthenogenesis. Very important, that's called parthenogenesis. So here you can see that it's actually the number of sets of chromosomes. Whether it is haploid or diploid, it will determine the sex of the individual. Whether it is haploid, then that is male, and if it is diploid, then that is female. So this type of sex determination mechanism is called haploid-diploid sex determination mechanism. And one more interesting thing you have to understand here, the males do not have any father and they will not have any son. That means you can see that here this is actually produced from an unfertilized egg. So there is no father here. You can see that the male is produced from an unfertilized egg. So there is no father. And you can see that it can only produce sperm, right? If the sperm will fuse here, then it will be a female. So there is no son, right? But there is a chance of grandson and grandfather. That means here if you can say that these two will fuse together to form a female. If it is producing an N and N, this can develop into a drone, this female. So this will have the grandson and it can have the possibility of grandfather, but the male will not have any father or they will not have any son. So that's the specialty of honeybee. Quite interesting, right? I hope you understand the sex determination mechanism very clearly.